Hey, how's it going? A lot of things I wanted to talk about, I guess, right now. I mean, pretty simple things that can be some sort of sources to solutions or something. Um, I think the government system is going pretty well, although they were talking about a government shutdown a few days ago. Sorry, I'm cooking, so I might have to, take breaks during conversions. But it's been really frustrating that we constantly have to go through these things that has nothing to do with providing some sort of base for our government system and the structure because they spend so much money on things that it's really complex. Most of the money that they spend would be the military. Military is where most of our taxpayers' money is going, and also the country's revenue source. Secondary systems would also indicate providing um, food for the civilians and different types of bases on um, security and health and what, fire prevention and different government programs that does things for us largely and engineering for cities. So, I mean, basically throughout all the industries and finding different types of value, mostly in like getting their investments from mining um, and stuff like that in the ocean. Network, basically providing for some of these companies um, or car companies who were in financial situations over a few years ago. Um, has been going along over curvature times. As you can see, the accumulation of problems have been arising constantly. Although we could get out of these problems if they were to vote in, or if the House of Representatives were to vote in or make new bills to make some sort of pathogen or network for these bases to go through. Now, the House of Representatives have been going through these different types of small situations and or things that took a lot of time um, since for the past year since the last shutdown when Obama was in office. When Obama was in office, the last shutdown was constantly because they were focused on things, all of the small things that took up time, that basically were not really making a base, I guess, since they can only focus on one thing at a time and a lot of people come in and to make their different types of presentations on the different sectors and areas of land corresponding to climate and or drought and or all the other things that are around providing for the civilians and how the civilians linear sources of activities and things would go of course to the financials and making a grand revenue of cycling of money of providing events and total structure um, for the continuation and cycling of large quantities of moving money, um, health, and all these other educational sources or branches that are around education from linear activities and leisure. Um, although we have to find more strengths and making more plans instead of just having these few plans, I think it would probably be better if the House of Representatives had some sort of office and they had meetings with different groups and or these different companies to work on different types of general ideas to build up more strengths and ideas of where these companies are and how they can find other situations of of providing these different structures of making new builds just from networking and stuff like that of like where they are and how we could get things situated linear computation pretty much and get things situated with how we can get things financially stable so the government obviously have to deal with the civilians in our living, although they shouldn't be afraid to, network and or collaborate with these industries or companies to build a better base based on um, you know, secondary sources in these companies, not really letting them make the plans, but just general meetings to basically combine different types of computational theories and seeing where they are to see how we can provide basis on finding these different structures. That way, whenever they go to the meetings at the House of Representatives, they could find more, present more things and find more plans from all of the weekly or monthly meetings that they have once or twice or 4 times, 5 times a month with these different companies. They should basically build, not only partnerships, but also we could, see how our communities get stronger from our networkings. It's all over the country, we have a lot of things that we would have to work on to generally get a lot of things accomplished. So it would take time. It would take a lot of communicating, and it would broaden or widen our 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 um, our structured plans, I guess. Um, so we wouldn't have to focus on like all the small things and or try to make bills on, our output, all the old things that we're still kind of focused on today, which is one of the reasons why we're going back to a government shutdown because we haven't moved on. So we've been kind of in pausing or pause on small things. Although the president is making new things, finally going forward. We've been going forward for a while, but people don't know how to see things because they don't really, pay attention to all the things that the presidents do. President Trump has to do global, interact with global positions in our parties. Um, I mean, he has to make things, you um, try to help with the financial situations. But basically, why he was voted because he has his own company. And there was a lot, and he's a billionaire. A lot of companies, global companies all over. A lot of presidents basically were either inventors or business owners like Roosevelt or either Benjamin, Franklin, um, Thomas Edison, all these great minds, um, or even freak. There are so many. All the presidents were like almost inventors, business owners, and or like some sort of, really, really structured with their with plans, and which led to, I mean, a lot of things. If you think about it, even the president that made the interstate highway, he invented a lot of things just to make the highway, and or he networked with these different groups and worked with these scientists. But then there was this other president, and then there was like the atomic energy um, department, which was another part, which is another president that, which was a great advancement in nuclear energy and nuclear physics. So I mean, great things last century, the centuries before, freaking 1700s. Okay. Anyways, back to I'm not trying to talk about the previous presidents and the president today. I'm trying to get back to the things that we need to accomplish. I'm not really trying to talk too long, I guess, because I could talk my brain off, I guess, about these different things that we would need to make to provide. But I don't know. I was actually thinking about after I start my company, mostly trying to start with with real estate, I guess. And the real estate market probably like, let's say, 80 condos and an apartment complex of like, in another area of like 200, or not 200, but like a few settings of apartments, and charge rent, make 80 to um, almost 90,000 a month or something. That'd be nice. But providing these different areas, well, it depends. If these are different sets of apartments complexes, I might even make some that are like rent is like 150 by making my apartment my cheaper apartment complex for out of cargo boxes, or like sheet metal stuff. They're not. They're only. And it looked like a small little like kind of like an RV, you know, but like um, you know, spread it out on the land. So it'd be basically so people can save money and they can financially get things situated and get things that they need and go on. So low rent, fast, it's mostly in a helping place, and it'd be based off of building jobs, or if you don't have a job, it's like large sectors of industries that you basically build yourself up off of just from renting these small apartments for like 150 or something, and get it like probably save yourself your money up for a car and all these other things, great things. I have a lot of plans besides my real estate plans and all my education plans and my company plans, basically around the economy and also around getting things financially structured. So a lot of places get out of debt. If the civilians are making more money and it can save more money, they would obviously make an output or a grand output on the economic cycle, which would get a lot of cities out of debt. It would provide for them to do bigger things, for making bigger educational systems, different types of buildings for events and things to happen, so we could and or make tourist attractions that could bring large quantities of money to these different sectors and quantities of land to get them financially structured to make bigger projects, maybe even astronomical projects for space, and or be financially structured for bigger projects of mining, and or financially structured for to have different bases to uh, rebuild in their cities and neighborhoods, and or their um, you know take down the old houses and put in new ones. Pretty much, it's not really that bad, I guess, if the city civilians, go to like the city hall and vote on like if they want to go stay somewhere and like have like them knock down all of the buildings, and just like rebuild. It's not going to take that long, make modern homes or whatever. So it'd be pretty great. We could talk about these things later. Besides real estate and residential areas, we make parks, and our parks are really high tech and futuristic, and just like where people can hang out. And it'd be a complete revolutionary park where it's just like brand new, lots of things to do there, and like besides like a playground, you can make parks where it's just like a lot of cool things there, like things that everybody would want to go spend time and hang out with, at the area, because of all the things that we can mechanically make and provide for just like a whole new universe of basically just spending time um, in these different sectors where we make in these different types of things. So a lot of revolutionary ideas, a lot of things that we can provide for the civilians based on finding somewhere where they can make different strengths and networking and interacting with people, and finally carry on with the forwards access. We'll talk again another day. Not really trying to talk too much, so I carry on, I guess. Another topic another day.